Hello. Today we're going to go over adding a new user to your account. So first thing you want to do is you want to log into your software where you're looking at the dashboard here. Now you're going to have two locations where you can add this new user. If you remember back in our other video where we set up the administrator account information, it was under this quick account setup. You can also add additional users through this method just by clicking on this button here, and you will see add new prepare. You can click on that button here and it will take you right into the screen to add a new prepare. But I'm going to take a moment and show you another way to access this exact same area. So I'm just going to close out of this window, and up here at the top of the page I'm going to click on setup. By clicking on setup, it takes you to a very familiar screen, prepare information. It has the admin information that we set up from our previous video, and there's our add new prepare. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this button, and it will ask for some information about our new prepare. So let's create them a username, a password, a hint, and provide other information. It's going to be just a moment here. So let's give them a simple name such as a new user 2020. We'll give them their password here. They must turn all of those options to a green check to be able to be an acceptable password. All right. Now, just in case you're wondering, there are character limits to these, the username, the password, and the password hint, and if you need some additional information on what those might be, you can hover your mouse over these question marks and they will explain a little bit more detail of what is required. So let's put in a first name and last name, and let's make them an enrolled agent. Now, over here on the right for prepare/user information, a social is not required if they have a PTIN. So let's just enter some random numbers here, and we're going to bypass that social because, again, it's not required if you have a PTIN. We are going to plug in a phone number here, so let's do a made-up number as well as a made-up email address. Okay, there we go. So let's scroll down a little bit, and this will look a little familiar to you if you were setting up the administrator account regarding the prepared power of attorney and pinned signature numbers. If these are applicable, you would want to enter them. Enter the information right here. If not, you can bypass them. They are not required. So let's scroll down a little bit further. Now this you would not see if you were setting up the administrator account, but you will see for all new preparers that will be with your account. And these are the kind of rights and privileges section. So if we take a quick look at this, do you want to list all of the taxpayers to this user? You have an option to list all of the taxpayers regardless of who created that return, or limit them to where this preparer can only see the returns that they created. If we look down below, we are going to check or leave unchecked boxes that enable them certain rights and privileges and access. So I'm going to allow them to file amended return. I'll allow them to print tax forms and email tax returns. So we're going to say they can't delete records, they can't adjust the pricing, and they aren't able to do these other options as well. Now, over here on the right-hand side, to give admin access means to check all of these boxes and to make them the equivalent of an administrator. But what we're going to do is we don't want to do that for this person, so we're just going to give them a few things. Now, if we're going to have them prepare tax returns, we have to at least give them client, or else they won't be able to create any new returns. What else will we give them? Let's give them the ability to e-file a tax return. Let's say they can generate letters and they can generate reports, and we're going to leave it at that. Alright, so we've got all our information entered and all our selections made for the rights and privileges. So what we'll do now is we're going to click on create new user. Now, just like before, when you were setting up the administrator account, you have the option of giving them a layer of security while they are logging in. So since we didn't do it last time, let's do it this time. So I'm going to select some options here from our list of questions. And let's see, let's do this. All right, so I'm going to provide an answer. So I'm just going to do this, test, example, and sample. All right, so now when they log in, they're going to be asked 2 out of these 3 questions, and they have to provide these exact answers. Otherwise, it will not let them proceed. So let's go ahead and click on Save Changes and Login Security. So 2-factor authentication for their phone number and their email. As you can see, there is nothing here, so they would not be prompted for a 6-digit code to their phone or to their email. We can activate that if we need to. We can also set up Google authentication here. So this is something that they would have to do themselves. So to enable them, you would just check this box. And then so next time they were logging in, it would have them scan the barcode and set up the Google authentication. And then you would also be able to set up a security pin for an additional layer of login security. This is a fixed 4-digit pin that they will have to enter each time when they're logging into the software. Once you have made your selections, you have set these up to the way that you wish, whether you give them all of this or none or some. Once everything's been set up the way you'd wish, you would just press on complete. It will return you back to the prepare information page where you will see what is enabled, their name, their PTIN, their user type, the ability to edit them again if necessary, reset their password. And if you have any other prepares, you would just click on Add New Prepare and repeat the process.